Excited to be opening up conference play and for our first ACC game and back at home this week against a really good Florida State team. I mean, obviously the gold standard of this league for a long time. You look at them, defensively. I think if you take every regular season game last year and the 4 this year, that's 16 straight regular season games they've not given up over 30 points. I think they gave up 6 to Louisville in the championship game. So 17 of their last 18 games, other than that bowl game last year, they've given up 29 or less. That's pretty impressive. They're long, they're fast, they're physical. They don't let you be explosive. So we got a big challenge there. They're really, really good on special teams, really solid. And then offensively, I think they found their winning ways last week. I mean, gone against Mike, known him for a long time. He's one of the best coaches in college football, specifically offensively. So I know they'll have a great game plan. And Adam's been his DC since those days at Memphis. So excited to have a challenge to go against the defending champs in our first conference game.
Yeah, how do you kind of evaluate their film when obviously they weren't getting those results early on, but also knowing how much talent they have and how maybe the best football they can play is in a certain
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the scariest teams are the one that have so much talent and just haven't clicked yet. I mean, nobody missed on the preseason projections in terms of talent. You look at their defense, they got 4 starters that are going to play in the NFL. They got long edge rushers. They got 2 massive defensive tackles. Their linebackers run incredibly well. They got 6'2", 6'1", 6-foot corners and safeties that can run. I mean, honestly, this may be, I feel pretty confident saying in my time here, this is without question the most athletic and fastest team we'll have played. And it's probably the most athletic and fastest team that's come to Ford Stadium in a long, long time. And then offensively, I mean, they got 3 big running backs. I know they want to run the football. At times this year they ran it really well, and at times they've struggled. And, I know they've been struggling, but I mean, last year DJ was excellent at Oregon State, so it's in there. And so there's only a matter of time before it all clicks. And they got a win last week. They got some momentum. So these are the scary, dangerous ones to look at because, perceptionally people go, oh, they're struggling. There's plenty of talent over there.
Yeah, what have you seen from the offense over there and kind of what they were able to do versus Cal, and also kind of comparing that to the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think like anybody else, they're not turning the ball over. They're playing to that defense. I think they won 14-9. I mean, like I said, their defense is really solid. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and it's not just like 1 or 2 games. It goes all the way back to last year. And so they've got a good, strong identity there. They're trying to run the football, and I think it's only a matter of time before they start hitting some of those explosive plays to go with that. And, when it happens, kind of like it did for us even last week, it can just explode and come in bunches. So, we're going to have to do a good job like we do every week. We got to stop the run. We got to stay on top and limit the explosives. And we've got to do a better job getting off field on 3rd down, and that's our challenge this week.
Was DJ a guy that you paid much attention to when he was at Clemson? You were at Miami. Was he someone you saw much?
Oh yeah. I mean, was aware of DJ back a little bit when he's coming out of high school. Never really recruited him, but obviously he was a big-time recruit. Went to Clemson, had some early success. Struggled a bit, went to Oregon State, and had a fantastic season last year. So, he's a leader, he's a winner. There's a reason they're sticking with him because they know that that they can turn the corner and be the best version of themselves with him. And so we're going to get a really good, motivated football team.
After such a physically and emotionally draining game on Saturday, how do you make sure your team is recharged and is fully focused for this week's game?
I'm not worried about the emotion part because we talked about it last week. We're not about playing with emotion. We're about playing passionate and intense. No, the physicality, that was a physical game. Fortunately, we were the ones delivering a lot of the physicality, but this one will be more physical Saturday night. Florida State's more physical. They're bigger, they're faster. Their defense, they play defense the right way. They play defense like you would think Florida State plays defense. Offensively, they're going to run it right at us. They're going to try to be physical up front. And like I said, I think special teams, this is the most complete special teams unit we played too. So, that's the biggest deal we talked about today. I mean, the stereotype, the fun talking point is going to be, oh, SMU had a big emotional win and Florida State got a win, so now they're turning the corner. SMU's going to have a letdown. And we can't allow that to happen. I mean, we're playing Florida State in our home stadium as a conference opener, so we should be ready to play.
What's the excitement and just the feeling within your program across this campus now being here, first ACC game? It's going to be a pretty historic moment.
I think the excitement for our program and our fan base and our campus is at an all-time high. We just came off a great home win. We got another home game. I mean, our atmosphere at our games has been incredible. So I think everywhere but in our locker room, it's as high as it can be. We don't talk about it a lot. I'm sure our guys are excited about it, but I mean, that's the thing. We can't get sucked into all that. We got to do what we need to do every day to be ready to play, so we don't play emotional, so we don't kind of play outside of who we are. And that's the challenge of sports. That's what's fun. It's a big mental component is, can you focus on staying present, doing what you need to do in the moment, so hopefully you can get the result later. Choices lead, feelings follow. We got to make the right choices so we can try to have the feelings we want later. And it's not easy to do, but we're working hard to do it.
Any injury updates you could share? LJ, Kobe, Wachovia?
I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but Jalen Knighton is going to be out for the season. He wasn't available last game. He had a surgery yesterday. Should make a full recovery, but so he's out for the season. You asked me about a couple.
Kobe Wilson.
Kobe practiced today. He's good. LJ's day to day. Wachovia was out at practice. Ja'Kai was at practice. So the guys that got nicked up in the game last week, Ja'Kai, Wachovia. Colin was just cramping.
Okay. Right.
All the ones you asked about have returned to practice with the exception of LJ. He's not ruled out. He's day to day in protocol, and he's making good strides to have a chance to play. But other than that, I don't think there's any new injuries from the game. So all in all, we came out in pretty good shape.
Is that a credit to all the things your guys are doing outside of practice and all the things that strength staff and maybe even some of the new facility?
No, I think it's a couple things. Sometimes it's just good luck. We've played 4 games now, and other than running back, we've stayed out of a lot of critical ones. We still got 8 big games ahead, so who knows what'll happen. But I think you do credit our players. An older group, they know how to take care of themselves. I think you credit Coach Grizz and his strength staff and Steve and our training staff. Yes, the new facilities definitely got a lot of extra added benefits for us. I'd like to think the way our staff takes care of the players and the positions, the way we practice. I think we practice really physical, but I don't think we're crazy about it. We don't run them in the ground like maybe some old school mentalities. We kind of have an NFL practice schedule in terms of in the NFL they play on Sunday. They don't practice again until Wednesday. Now Monday and Tuesday's mental and recovery and maybe a light lift, but same thing in high school. They play on Friday. They don't practice again until Monday. They give that 48-hour physical break. A lot of colleges play on Saturday and practice on Sunday night, or play on Saturday and practice on Monday, and we don't do that. We play Saturday. Sundays are off day. Monday we get lift and meetings and walk through. We don't actually physically practice until Tuesday, and we go Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we walk through Thursday and run through Friday. So we do everything we can to do in season to get the physicality we need ready to play, but we're trying to take care of them for the long haul. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
Can you share what Jalen's injury is?
Yeah, it was a knee injury. I believe his was MCL. I think Kamar's was meniscus. They were both repairable. They both should make a full recovery and be free for spring ball in best case scenario. And both of them had a redshirt year, even though they were seniors, and neither one played in 4 games. So they have the ability to have another year. So it wasn't ACL.
And you enter this season with such a deep running back room, gets cut in half, and now you got LJ. How do you work through that? I know Brashard's been great, but it's going to be tough.
We had a deep running back room coming in the year. It's not as deep now. Thankfully, we started deep. We were hoping to get more than 4 games in. It's week to week. Brashard obviously has been great. I know Roderick Daniels can play running back. I think that's having a guy like Derek Mafall, got those carries in game 2, and he's super smart, got good hands. He's actually stylistically like Brashard, so that helps. And then, LJ's kind of been snake bit by the injury bug ever since he's been here. He hasn't had the critical one, but he's always had something, an ankle, a head, or what. So hopefully he can get back, and we still have 4, which would be great. With 8 games to go, we need to stay healthy in that room.
And LJ's concussion protocol?
Yes. Yep.
How much were you able to take in the atmosphere this past week?
A little bit. I know right before we came out, the students were noticeably different. It was just, you could tell they've been great, but it was a large student crowd, but they were loud when the team was running out. Our players noticed it. On Crossley and Junior's touchdowns early, you could hear and feel the stadium. It was different than it's ever been, and that was really cool. And our players fed off that, and I think that's a lesson to all of us. We know that, but our fan base, as we've expanded and closed in our stadium. We're going to the ACC. Like, home field environments in college football are huge, and everyone's human. And when we get momentum rolling in our favor and our crowd goes like that, that's a big boost to us. It's also deflating to the opponent, right? But also, what we really need them the most is maybe when we're not doing well and late in the game we're trying to come back or somewhat. That's where they can help us too. So I think our fans have been great. The atmospheres have been awesome. We expect another great atmosphere Saturday night. And I know the game kind of got out of control last week, but we'd love for them to stay and celebrate with us in the fourth quarter too.
What's the recruiting response that you get off of a win like that?
Yeah, it's good. Look, the number one thing you can do for recruiting is always win, and and then to win, a rivalry game in our stadium the way we did, it's a big boost. I think recruits already felt it, but it just kind of further validates. We're Dallas's college football team, which is a big recruiting advantage for us, and nobody within 34, 35 miles of here. And if we're playing well, that really helps us try to keep those guys home and playing in Dallas. And only in Dallas can you have Troy Aikman flipping the coin and the mayor here and all the things that happen. And so it's a big boost, but fortunately yesterday morning about 9 o'clock after we had our team meeting, we've been full speed ahead on Florida State because you're only as good as your last game.
Did you ever get that EA game set up with Coach Norvell?
I didn't, and like I said, Mike and I have known each other. We go all the way back to 2006, 7 when we first met. He played at Central Arkansas, played at Arkansas, and we connected through when him and Gus met. And so, good friend, really good ball coach, been great everywhere he's been. And people like me and Eli Drinkwitz, we try to give him a hard time every now and then and get him to lighten up a little, because he's such a good ball coach. He's always locked in. I tried to get him to play that game. I think it'd have been a fun game. Maybe we could have got ACC Network or digital to televise it, and just maybe even the league would allow that to be the coin toss. But I guess that'll have to go to next offseason.